Welcome back, my beautiful movie peeps. Appreciate you being here. Let's talk about some movie news. Some of the things we'll be discussing here today, guys, is we got the first trailer for the Anaconda reboot. We got Matthew Lillard teasing the voice of Springtrap in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie, and Matt Reeves giving us actual updates on the Batman Part 2 for us to speculate on. We'll be diving into that along with so much more, so you guys know the drill. Hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Timestamps in the description, and well, let's just jump into it. Kicking things off with some of the trailers we got released this week, starting off with one catering to the 11% of the 3C female audience. Don't say Papa never did nothing for you. Dressing myself as Papa is why I have 11% female audience. But that is the trailer for The Housemaid. It's a thriller starring Sydney Sweeney and Amanda Seyfried. It's an adaptation from a book of the same name that is very popular. So this is something definitely your mama, your girlfriend, or that lady you've been stalking down the street has heard of. There's your chance to talk to her, buddy. Stop following her home and ask her about housemates. Does my analytics say the percentage of stalkers? Statistically speaking, there's got to be like 2%? This is one of those movies that is going to be a big hit, just like It Ends With Us. I don't think so much so because of the behind-the-scene controversy with that, but that was a movie where it seemed like there was a whole other world, a whole group of audience members that went to go see it and made that movie a big hit. And you know what? I can maybe see the appeal. It looks interesting. So it looks like Sydney Sweeney plays a woman who's in need of a job, picks up this housemaid position with this crazy rich lady, and secrets are about to be uncovered. It's played up super dramatically and with a big thrilling mystery behind it. I'm hoping this will be something fun. I mean, this is being directed by Paul Feig. He's done a good job with thrillers of the same vein. I enjoyed the first A Simple Favor. Yeah, I also have Brandon Sklenar in here, the fan cast to be DCU Batman, at least by some people. Yeah, I'm sure it'll be fine. I don't think I would have blinked twice at this movie had it not been for Sydney Sweeney and the huge following this book has, man. I want to know what the hype is. What's so fascinating about this story? Are you someone looking forward to The Housemaid? Next up, today we finally got the trailer for the Anaconda reboot starring Paul Rudd and Jack Black. I did not know what to expect from this movie, and once I saw the trailer, I honestly still don't know what to expect. So if you guys don't know, this is a reboot from the 1997 Anaconda movie that starred Ice Cube, Jennifer Lopez, and Owen Wilson. It wasn't a masterpiece or anything, but it did have kind of a cult following, and it does have kind of a so bad it's kind of good vibe to it. I had guilty pleasure fun watching it as a kid. I was terrified of that Anaconda. But with this reboot, that Anaconda movie actually exists within this new one, and Jack Black and Paul Rudd play lifelong friends who were obsessed with that movie, so much so that they've always wanted to make their own Anaconda film. So that's exactly what they set out to do. They grab some friends, cameras, and they go make an Anaconda movie, which I'll tell you right now, when I first heard that premise, I was like, kind of weird, but you know what? Sure, let's have at it. I think that could be fun. But the way it plays in the trailer, that premise started to lose me a little bit, because as we see in the trailer, they get their Anaconda and they're making their little movie, but they accidentally kill their Anaconda, and now they have to go search for a real one, and wouldn't you know, they find one, and havoc ensues. Don't know what you thought was gonna happen when you go look for a real Anaconda. It's also one of those trailers that pretty much tells you beat by beat what's gonna happen in this movie up until a certain point. I mean, we even get a whole scene where they think Jack Black is dead, so they're gonna use him as bait on the Anaconda, only to find out Jack Black's still alive and now needs to run away. And I mean, speaking of Jack Black, it's nice to see him with a shorter beard. He doesn't have that big bushy one he's been carrying for years, but he's still doing the Minecraft thing.
This is a crafting table. This is Anaconda.
Movie screenings where we all pull out our Anacondas and go, Anaconda! Again, why I only have 11% female audience. But being honest with you, I guess I was a little disappointed with this trailer. I'm still gonna watch the movie and hope it's good. I guess I should also be cutting it some slack because they're leaning more towards a comedy side than a horror movie. But a lot of the comedy in the trailer just was not landing for me. I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt and say it's because this is a rated R movie, and with this maybe being a censored PG trailer, it just didn't have all the jokes or gags able to be used in that trailer, but I don't know, it just looks so honestly stupid and ridiculous, but maybe that's the point. So I'm not gonna lie, slightly underwhelmed with this trailer, but I'm still gonna go in hoping for the best. I throw it off to you guys. You saw the trailer for Anaconda, this reboot. You buying into it? You gonna watch it? What do you think? Moving on to a movie news story that I just wish excited me a little bit more. We got the confirmation of Insidious 6. This happened over the weekend where we got confirmed that Lin Shaye, who's been a recurring character in the Insidious movie, will come back to star in a new Insidious film coming out next summer. This honestly isn't a huge surprise with the last Insidious movie that really did disappoint me. I thought that thing was going to be great. It still made a ton of money for Sony, and The Conjuring just had a big box office boom. It feels like movies in this alley are something audiences want, and hey, Sony wants to deliver. I just don't know what story you could tell, especially with Lin Shaye coming back, that would be all that interesting. I'm still waiting for the last Insidious movie they made that still has yet to be released. In this announcement, they still make it clear that we have another Insidious movie, an Insidious spin-off that's called Thread, an Insidious Tale, that stars Mandy Moore and Kumail Nanjiani. And I remember the premise of that movie actually sounded interesting. It explores the idea that in the further, you can essentially time travel. That was an element that was shown in the second Insidious movie, but they really didn't do much with it. Well, in this film, it's said that two parents who lost their child are gonna use the further to kind of go back in time, save their kid, but almost Pet Sematary style, that has consequences and things go bad. I'm like, yo, that actually doesn't sound half bad. Give me that movie. How come you haven't released that yet? It's like apparently done, finished, but no release date at all. I guess that's a sign that it's probably a bad movie, but I want to watch it. I don't know. I throw it off to you guys. How do you feel about another Insidious movie and this mysterious spin-off movie that just isn't getting released? Jumping off my hate wagon for a little bit, a movie that I have been happily kind of bashing on because I just don't know how it's gonna turn out is the live action Street Fighter movie. And I'm jokingly hating on this movie, one, because I'm not really a Street Fighter fan, didn't grow up with it, but it's this insane cast that they have pulled out for this movie with people like Jason Momoa, 50 Cent, Andrew Schultz. Like, it's just a wild cast. And although the first posters I thought were like a fun homage to the original gameplay screen of Street Fighter, I thought it was a cheap way to do it because it was just the headshots of the actor, the thing they send by email to be like, hey, can I audition for that movie? They just slap that on a poster. And well, to be completely honest with you, I finally found something that genuinely got me excited for this movie. You guys might have seen 50 Cent released this little teaser video giving you an idea of his character in Street Fighter. 50 Cent will be playing Balrog, and for a man who is not 50 cents, but is 50 years old, he is actually looking incredible, and he's even committed to that crazy haircut that Balrog has in the game. I'm not gonna lie, I saw that and I was like, okay, this might be fun then. This could be enjoyable. Just from this little video, I'm kind of interested now to see the others' costume. Are they gonna give Jason Momoa that green skin and orange hair? Cause yeah, let's do that. There's even a character with like a fade and a flat top. I wanna see that flat top now. I can't wait to see the other cast of characters and if they actually match their video game counterpart the way 50 Cent is doing. That's honestly gonna make it kind of worth it for me. How are you guys feeling about this tease with 50 Cent? Next up, we got another update on this James Cameron Terminator film that's currently being worked on. Some of you guys know that James Cameron has been vocal that he's working on a new Terminator movie that he's gonna write. Doesn't sound like he'll direct it, but hey, I'll take a written James Cameron Terminator movie over what we've gotten so far. But he's kind of opened up in this latest interview about the struggle to have this done. In the article, it says exactly, now in the 7th installment, Cameron has implied that there will be a completely new cast and characters for the next story, but he's struggling to get started. I don't know what to say that won't be overtaken by real events, Cameron said in an interview. We live in a science fiction age right now. And really, it sounds to me like James Cameron is just talking about like, we're living in the Terminator time to an exaggerated extent, but to where the things in Terminator do not seem that far off with the advancements of AI and everything going on in our world, that he's just having trouble coming up with a story that feels advanced or just ahead of its time in the same way Terminator 1 and 2 were. And I'm the guy who's always championing a reboot, a sequel, a remake, whatever, because I'm like, give it to me, man. If I like a franchise, I want as much of it. But I think Terminator is one of those franchises where the burnout is starting to be felt. There is only so many kind of okay sequels you can get before you just think to yourself, have we peaked? Terminator 2 is as best as it's gonna get, and if anything, we're just going in circles, repeating a lot of callbacks and Easter eggs from Terminator 1 and 2. I mean, my biggest thing kind of keeping me going with this is James Cameron is writing it, so you would think he wants to do something different and big, but if even he's like, I can't really think of anything in the world we live in, man. Maybe it's time we let Terminator rest. I don't know. I throw it off to you guys, though. You see James Cameron struggling to try and make this Terminator movie. Do you want it to happen? Do you think he'd figure it out? Or what are your thoughts? Next up, we got a small little tease from Matthew Lillard about Springtrap, the evolution of his character in the Five Nights at Freddy's movie universe, and it got me a little excited. He was being asked by Bloody Disgusting why he didn't voice Springtrap in the Dead by Daylight video game since he gave permission to his likeness and everything from that film. And he said exactly, I'm not doing Springtrap until I do Springtrap in the movie. So the only way I do Springtrap is that people go see the movie on December 5th, and then when we make a third. Kinda feels like a spoiler, but it's a spoiler that hypes me up. This has kind of been the downside for me with the 3 Five Nights at Freddy's movie, because the way it was described to Matthew Lillard, and it is the best way to describe it to newcomers out there, is Springtrap is the Voldemort of the Five Nights at Freddy's universe. He's the overarching enemy that is lingering in all the films until he is finally the main villain towards the end of the series. And well, that is cool, and it's great to have Matthew Lillard in there, but the amount of screen time he got in the first and the amount he's probably going to get in the second movie is really underwhelming, because man, I just want so much of him as William Afton. The Yellow Rabbit stuff in the first movie was like the best part for me. And while it is nice to know we're basically gonna get the Springtrap voice and maybe look of it towards the end of this second movie, but the third film will be him all Springtrap all the time with that voice. And honestly, kudos to Matthew Lillard for wanting fans to experience it in the movie first, then on a video game. I think that's a cool mindset to have, and I don't blame him at all for doing that. But yeah, Matthew Lillard said it here. Springtrap and his voice, second movie, and then all of the third film. How do you guys feel about that? Moving on now, let's talk about The Batman Part 2. So over the weekend, the Emmys were happening, and with the Penguin getting nominated and winning tons of awards, Matt Reeves was there answering some questions for the Batman. Now, he really didn't answer much, but this is the closest we're going to get to some Batman updates that aren't us speculating whether he's joining the DCU, reading tons of rumors about this villain that don't seem to be true. At least it's nice to get some actual updates from the people making it. And well, starting off, one of the things that Matt Reeves does let us know is that Part 2 will also be a detective story, which, yes, he said exactly because of what the first movie was and what this movie is, which is so much a detective story, the idea of trying to protect the secrets of the movie is super important because it's a mystery. It would be an extra level of heartbreak if that part started getting out. And that's something Matt Reeves was talking about, is this secrecy with the script for the Batman Part 2. I believe it was Jeffrey Wright who posted a picture of how he was delivered the script in this pouch with a lock. And that's the same way other cast members, including Robert Pattinson, were given the script and they had to call Matt Reeves for the code. It really makes me think then any rumors or anything we have heard about the Batman Part 2 up until this point cannot be true with how much secrecy and how little of people have actually read and gone through the script. Matt Reeves also said that I really do think this movie will be better than the last. Robert Pattinson feels that way. We're very excited about it. Now, obviously he's going to hype up his movie, but I think them some fighting words calling it better than the last, that's already a high bar. But probably my favorite update thus far, Matt Reeves says the Batman will take Batman's character in an unexpected direction. The thing that this film does for his character, for Batman and Bruce, I think has never been done before in this way. You could interpret that to mean anything and everything in the Batman mythos. What I interpret it and my speculation, that is probably going to be 100% wrong, but let me be delusional. I still want to believe Matt Reeves is going to attempt his own version of doing a Robin and Batman story in a grounded and serious way. That's what I get from this quote. It has never been done before in this way. That last part, in this way, meaning it's been done before, but not in this way. Batman and Robin has been done before live action several times, but we've never had a serious live action Batman and Robin interpretation. I would love to see that happen. I feel like there's so much development you could also do with the Bruce Wayne character, and I do think that is one of the only rumors we truly believe for this movie. It'll be very Bruce Wayne centric, since that was an element of the first movie that was just left in the background. We're really going to be exploring Batman and the Bruce Wayne personality. So I don't know, again, that's my interpretation, but people have interpreted it so many other ways, meaning like, oh, is he gonna go fantastical? Are we actually gonna get weird villains? Maybe. Could really be anything, but I don't know. The Robin thing kind of works in my own head. I throw it off to you guys with these Batman comments. What do you make of them? And are you excited for the Batman Part 2? Anyways, guys, that is all movie news we currently have going on right now. I want to thank you so much for taking time out of your day to watch me talk some movie news. Don't be forgetting to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already. Follow me on Twitter at 3C Films or on TikTok at 3C Films. But as always, I'm Chris. Take care.